everybody, Elisa here with another Vera Bradley bag of the day. I'm back in New York City visiting my dad who is napping right now, and so I thought it might be a good chance, a good moment to try to film a couple of videos. I was hoping to do two, but I'm not sure I'll make it. We'll see. But I'm gonna try to split things up so that the videos don't get too long and out of hand, especially the second one if I get to it. But I'm not in my car this time because it's a Holy Thursday today and tomorrow's Good Friday, and so alternate side of the street parking is suspended, and so I don't have to go sit in my car, which I have got to just say, I have to talk about this. I just have the sweetest parking spot right in front of my dad's building, because when I pulled up after my drive and I was starting to unload my car, Walter, the super in the building, who's just the sweetest guy, he saw me and he said, "Oh, do you want me to move my car up a little bit so you can squeeze in?" He had a big space in front of the building with his car, and so there was enough. When he moved his car a little bit forward, there was enough space for me to get in, so I just have the sweetest spot. Anyone who knows about parking cars in Manhattan, especially from back in the day when you used to have to do it more than once a week, sit in your car more than once a week, knows what a knows what a good feeling that is. Knows why native New Yorkers get so excited for parking spots. Anyway, so I don't have to sit in my car this trip because it's suspended because of the Easter holiday coming up. So I'm in my room, and so I thought I would do. And the windows are open, so if there's any street noise during the course of the video, it's New York people. It's noisy. So I thought I would do a what's in my bag, because I know people seem to like those videos, even though I always forget to do them. I never think to do them, but people seem to like them, and asked me to try to do them more frequently. So I'm carrying a bag that I hadn't shown before, so I thought I would do one of those. It's a good opportunity to do what's in my bag. Also, because I was using a couple of different, less typical things for me, or I had switched things up a little bit, so maybe it won't be so repetitive. But this is Lemon Grove, and this is the Vera Tote, the factory outlet store style Vera Tote, and this is one of the their more recent patterns. And this is the front or the back? That's the back. Not that it really matters, especially on the factory style Vera, which is great. It's one of the things I like about this bag. But I just have to talk about the Lemon Grove pattern for a minute, and the lemon motif. Because I've mentioned I'm in the Insiders online focus group that Vera Bradley has, and when they first started that group it's been a couple of years now, there was a thread in there, a post in there asking people, talking about what kinds of patterns they would like to see from Vera Bradley, and I mentioned that I would like to see patterns with fruit, and a lot of people poo-pooed me. A lot of other group people, insiders, participants, they were not that crazy about that idea. But then Vera came out with that, what was that, Garden Picnic, or whatever the reactive version of Garden Grove was, and it has the big slices of watermelon and the apples and the giant ants. I did not ask for giant ants. I just want to go on the record saying. And so I felt a little vindicated, like, a pattern with fruit, maybe somebody was listening. But I have to be honest, it was not what I had envisioned. I was not thinking big chunks of watermelon. I was thinking citrus and lemons and oranges in particular, because maybe for two reasons. One, because of my Italian background, and in Sicily in particular, lemons and citrus seems to grow really well. It must be the climate, and there's something about lemons and Sicily is very common fruit down there. And so I just sort of associate lemons with that, and I feel like lemons in particular have been used in fabric motifs before, and so it was a familiar thing, something I was used to seeing that I liked seeing. And back in the day, it must have been in the 90s sometime, I think, Dolce & Gabbana had a lemon print fabric that they were using for some of their products. And I don't remember whether Stefano Gabbana or Domenico Dolce, one of them at least, is Sicilian. I don't think they're both Sicilian. One of them was Sicilian. And so it made sense to me that they were making use of that lemon motif. And I'm not sure, but I think that they may be revisiting it in some of their fashion right now. I feel like I've seen stuff more recently from them with lemons, and I think they have a perfume now that's lemon based. Anyway, so I just think it's a great motif, and to me it makes me think of, like, Italy and the heat in Italy. And so I was super excited when they showed us this pattern in a pattern survey in the Insiders group, and then nothing ever came of it, and I was kind of bummed. But this was what I was thinking of. I wasn't thinking of ladybugs, and there were ladybugs in there, but that's great. I'll take ladybugs in my patterns any day. And I wasn't really thinking of it on this kind of like a robin's egg blue kind of background color. It reminds you kind of like Tiffany boxes. It's okay. It might not have been my first choice, but it's okay. But I do like the lemon motif overall. You see some of the hatchwork in the lemons to give them some shape. And there's a ladybug there. There's another one over there. There are a couple of ladybugs in the pattern. There. So very pleased to see this actually released. Very excited for it. And a woman in the store, the woman who rang me up when I was buying this, was telling me that apparently all the teenage girls are very into this, which she found interesting. I think she didn't expect the younger girls to be interested in this. She expected the old ladies, like myself, to be into it. Anyway, so the Vera Tote from the factory is very similar to the signature Vera Tote, but what's nice about it is that it seems to still be the new cotton rather than recycled cotton, and it still has piping on the top edge, which is nice because it helps the top edge keep a nice smooth round shape. Anyone who has one of the recycled Vera Totes knows that top edge gets all bent and wonky looking. It's terrible. This also has some piping on the top edge of that exterior slip pocket. It's a little hard to see because it's not microfiber. It's not solid microfiber. It's the same fabric as the body of the bag, so it blends in well. That's kind of a retro. I feel like that's what Vera Bradley used to do back in the day with their vintage bags. You see that. The piping is the same fabric as the bag rather than it being a solid microfiber. So I do like that, return to that. But of course now with the recycled stuff, it's all out the window. Thanks, Vera. The inside is just a solid nylon lining, but it does have the 6 slip pockets like a regular Vera. Doesn't have that hidden slip pocket up top at the top edge, but that's okay if you've got the exterior slip pocket there, and then you got a zipper pocket here, which is a configuration that was used once on the signature Vera Totes, but now it's in the factory style. And they've recently added the zipper top to the factory ones, which for a while I think it was just still a toggle closure, but recently they've reinstated a top zip there. Okay, so no piping on the straps, but the straps are nice and cushy. I don't really feel like you need the piping as much for structure on the straps. It's a nice finishing touch. It looks professional, but the reason I get very upset about the lack of piping, primarily with the recycled Vera Tote, is because it really removing that negatively affects the top edge of the bag. So technically this would be the front because it's got that label, but really with the factory Vera, it really doesn't matter. Even I feel like even more so than with the signature one, because the pockets are sort of ganged up on one side in the signature one, so that really looks like the front. Okay, so in here I have my usual, in one of the slip pockets, cell phone, Carson cell phone crossbody. This is Hummingbird Park, which I just slip in one of the slip pockets for my phone. It's not in here right now. I don't know where it is. It's around here somewhere. Anyway, got a bird there. I love these lavender flowers. So I like to use that just as extra protection for the phone, and because if I'm not looking in my bag when I'm feeling for my phone, if I feel for that flap on the Carson, it kind of lets me know where my phone is, makes my phone easy to find. I just have hand sanitizer in one of the other slip pockets, and this is just a makeshift plastic bag that one of the nice lady, when I bought something at Duane Reade, which is sort of like Walgreens in Manhattan, drugstore. I bought something large there, and they're not really, they seem trying to do away with giving in big bags and stuff, but she fashioned something for me. So it seemed handy, and I thought I would hang on to it in case I go somewhere else and I buy something big and they don't give me a bag. This is it's empty right now. This is a Best in Show Zip ID. It was not empty. When I used the bag, I had a picture of Duke in there, but I had taken it out to put in something else this morning. But anyway, this is my Best in Show Zip ID and wide lanyard. That's kind of standard. Dog hair flying around. A pixie here, but she's napping. Big city is very overwhelming to her. I think that's all for those pockets. Okay, in another pocket, this is the medium pouch from the Cosmetic Trio, again, Lemon Grove. Nice piping on the edge. Oh, there is a bug. There is a ladybug there. And I have my Xerox of my COVID vaccination card in here, I think. Yeah, it's a little bit. I probably don't need something quite so big, but it slips in and out easily. So this is something new, and it's empty right now, but I had decided to sort of start carrying an empty coin purse with me because occasionally I do get change, although it's not as common because I'm charging more recently than I'm using cash. But for some reason, what did I do with my, oh, here, I haven't gotten to it yet. I will get to my turn lock, but the turn lock has the zipper pocket on the outside, which I guess you could put change in, but I don't know why I don't like to do that. I think it's because I feel like I'm going to forget about it in there. And so I have decided to carry a spare coin purse in my bag. And this is, what is this? The new one, Citrus Paisley. And this is an interesting pattern. I think it's very pretty. I didn't really want a big item in it because I'm not a huge paisley person, although I do appreciate that they're using that motif because it sort of speaks to the history of the brand. But what I do really like about this are the floral details, especially these ones that look like bursts. And the reason that I like these so much, they're there too, is because they remind me of a certain ceramic glaze that is very beautiful. My background is in fine art, and I have taken a number of ceramics, pottery classes, and there's the crystalline glazes do this when they get fired. They result in these big bursts in the glaze. I don't know enough about glazes to know what's in the glaze to create that effect, but it's gorgeous. And this reminds me of that. And so I wanted something focused, a part of the fabric that had those elements rather than the paisleys. So I was pleased when I saw this in a Hallmark. So it's just empty right now. The lining is, you can sort of see the lining. So yeah, that's that. And then I started carrying another coin purse. This is just for holding something in it that has sentimental value to me that I came across in my one of my drawers. I was trying to sort of clear out a lot of my stuff. This is, what's the name of this? Plum pansies? The mind is the first thing to go. I have mentioned this pattern before. Again, this is the coin purse. Because to me, it has a film noir kind of feel with this stark difference between, it's a high contrast pattern with, bright light spots and very dark, the dark black spots, and not a lot of gray range in between, not a lot of mid-range tones in between. It's the two extremes there, light and dark. And that sort of reminds me of film noir, the way it's lit, and I didn't, there are certain parts of this pattern that I don't like, where they have too much black, but I felt lucky to get the blue, I do love blue, and to get fabric that wasn't too heavy with a lot of the black. And I just have a handkerchief in here that was my father's. It has his initial embroidered on it. I don't know if you can see the initial there. When he was a young lad. I'm not sure when he had these handkerchiefs, as a kid or maybe in high school or something, back in the day when people used handkerchiefs. So I just didn't know what to do with the handkerchief, and I didn't want to get rid of it, and I just thought, well, maybe I'll just carry it around with me if I can find something. Like I carry my picture of Duke, pictures with me. So anyway, this is typical. I've shown this before. This is the cord organizer in Forbidden Forest, a recent Harry Potter release, like this pattern. And I just have masks in here, and mask paraphernalia in there. Works nicely for me. I don't always carry this around now because people, mask requirements are changing, but I always do have some kind of mask on me in case, And again, the turnlock French paisley. I recently switched out into this one because I realized I hadn't used French paisley in a while, and it's so pretty. And I had been using Hope Blooms, which was a breast cancer pattern, and was recycled. This is not recycled cotton. And when I was doing the switch of my stuff, my wallet stuff, I definitely became aware of the hand feel, the difference in the hand feel. The Hope Blooms, the recycled cotton, was a little bit rougher. This felt better when I started to touch it, to transfer stuff. So I don't know what it is with the recycled. I feel like sometimes the recycled cottons seem a little softer, and other times they seem a little rougher. I don't know what that has to do with. Maybe, I don't know if it has to do with the dyes, the particular dyes they're using. It's odd to me. But I do think there's some variation in the hand feel with the recycled, which is weird. I picked this one because it has the blue bird. It's my favorite bird in this pattern. So I was happy to get it there. Very pleased with that. I love the pattern. Surprisingly, because it's very girly, and I don't always think of myself as very girly, but I do love that pattern. A mini dome with Fruit Grove. Now I do like the watermelons here as opposed to, when they're larger on their reactive fabric, but I love this pattern. And I wish they had released a Vera Tote in this. I think this is so sweet. I just have tissues and lip balm in there. That's typical, pretty typical for me. And these are also typical. I've shown these before. This is Bloom Boom Navy, a test item that I had received, but now all the items are out in this. So bummed they don't seem to have a regular size Vera Tote in this, only the small Vera. And I do hope to at some point get something in this. I just with the online outlet sale, I did order some Disney stuff because it was such a good price, and so I feel like I need to wait now. I need to pace myself. So hopefully what I want in this won't sell out. But this is such a beautiful pattern. I think it's so sweet. And I've talked about this before in other videos, but I love that grass green against this dark gray background, and I do think, you know, the gray backgrounds are very elegant. I like them. And I like all the lighter gray line work sort of dropping out on that black, on that darker gray. I love that grass green. That's a great color. And I just have some Band-Aids and like disinfectant wipes individually wrapped in there. You know, like those wraps that they give you when you eat barbecue. And measuring tape in Java Camo Navy, or Navy Camo. I never remember the order, I'm always saying that. But I did actually, I've taken to carrying this in my bag. I did use it the other day when I needed to measure something, was out in a store, so it's handy to have on me, I'm finding. And, my reader's case in Cloudvine, which I love this, that particular part of the pattern. Oh, dog hair, of course, everywhere. And the Bloom Boom eyeglass lens cloth. I hope to get something in this pattern. I think this probably looks a little bit softer than the actual cotton fabric of the bags. That gives you an idea. I would like to get something in this. I'd like to pick it out myself, and I don't have time to go to a store right now. And again, I did just buy a couple things that, I mean, maybe I'll return them. I could see myself returning them. I don't know. It was just a weird week moment. I'm not sure. I bought some Disney stuff in that online outlet sale, and I'm not even sure if I really want it. Might go back. And last but not least, in the bag, is they came out finally. I've been waiting for them to come out at the factory outlet store with another packable tote in a pattern that I like, and this is Peacock Garden. And I love this packable tote from the factory store, much better than the signature one. I don't even know if they're still making the signature one, but this is Peacock Garden. I just find this the packable totes from the factory outlet store very easy to manipulate, even when you're out and about. Very easy to unfold and very easy to fold up, easier than the the signature version. And I like the straps better on this, and I love this ripstop material. I've talked about that before. Reminds me of my childhood and being in dance classes and stuff with the ripstop. But there you can get a sense of the pattern and the peacocks there. So I do like that. Sort of has a, you know, an Indian kind of look, not American Indian, you know, Asian Indian. If that's the right terminology. I apologize if I have my terms right, but you know, I'm talking about Indian motif kind of look here to me. And actually, I was just watching, you know, when I come to watch to my dad's, I tend to just watch whatever he wants to watch. And yesterday in the afternoon, I was working, but I was sitting in the living room with him, and he had the TV on, and Kismet came on. I know people watch like old classic movies and musicals from the 50s, and I think this was still the 50s. It was, I think it might have been, I don't know if it was MGM. Not really the best directed or movie, but the music in Kismet is so beautiful. People who are familiar probably know it's sort of influenced by the music of the Russian composer Borodin, and it's just such beautiful music in that musical. And so we were watching it for that reason, but it was filmed so beautifully. You know, it's supposed to be in Baghdad, and so there's all this exotic, colorful, you know, imagery and sets, and there were live peacocks walking around in the gardens, and it was just so kind of made me think of this, you know, like that's what this makes me think of, very lush. I like this. I love this background color. So, you know, and to fold it up, you just, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, you know, on camera because I don't have a surface. You kind of need a surface, but you kind of you fold the bottom down, you know, you flatten it. And then you're sort of rolling it, you know, down like that. And then, you know, once you sort of get it all rolled down, see if I can do it here, and then hold it up. Then you just kind of I'm not sure which side to do it on. Then you just kind of sandwich the thing together and zip around the edges. Let's see if I can do it. Yeah, it's not really, doesn't really want to, oh, here we go. So you get it sort of folded up like this. That's the bottom. And just tuck in the straps, and then you just tuck those ends in, you know, and then you just kind of sandwich it up. And then you just start to work the zipper closed. Yeah. And it's very easy to do. I mean, I was doing it in the store because I wanted to open it up in the store to see where the peacocks were. Because I'm compulsive about my critters. So anyway, that was it. What's in my bag? That's not too bad. 25 minutes roughly. Vera Tote from the factory store, Lemon Grove. Really loving this pattern. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see if I can make the other video, which probably will be longer, and maybe wake up Pixie. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and hopefully see you next time on Vera Bradley Bag of the Day.